Boots Ennis, Xander Zayas announced this morning as well. Thoughts on that?
Man, that's a tough fight, especially for Xander at this point in his career, but it shows his heart and his confidence, that he have in himself.
It's a tough fight. It's a tough fight. This is a really good fight. And I don't know that Zayas has reached his peak yet. So, are you risking him not reaching his peak if Ennis, hurts him and changes him, It's another thing. You're taking a chance here with Zayas. But Zayas is a hungry guy. I've always known that Zayas, lives this life and, has very lofty goals.
Like, why do you think people were so skeptical of it?
I'm not sure. Maybe because he a young champion. He could have went a different route. It took an easier fight. To be real, at 154, I'm the biggest name at 154, and everybody know that. I'm the biggest name at 154, and everybody know they're gonna make the most money fighting me, straight like that.
Terence Crawford says the matchup between Jaron Ennis and Xander Zayas is a tough one. He believes Zayas is a talented fighter with strong skills, but warns that the fight may be happening too early in his career, making it a bit premature despite the big ambition behind it.
History for his country. He's going to do real well in that fight. I just think, right now, it's a little bit.
Boots. Ennis says he's targeting opponents who hold belts. While he respects Xander Zayas and acknowledges his talent, he makes it clear his focus is on world champions, pointing out the difference in where they are in their careers.
About to be a two-time weight division unified champ. Man, I'm snapping my legacy, man. It's only up. I'm about to show the world I'm the best in the world. I'm gonna continue to keep showing the world I'm the best in the world. Like this boxing game mine, straight like that.
Now, the bout with Virgil Ortiz looked like it was done, and of course, the legal stuff happened. That had nothing to do with you.
Right.
But you always said that you were going to give the fans the Virgil fight, and if that didn't happen, right back to the mission. And the mission was the belts. Yep. So was that why Xander was your first option after Virgil?
Yeah, once we, me and the team sat down, we figured out like, this, everything falling through. It's not really gonna happen. I told them, I told my team, Metro and the Zone, I'm like, yo, go get me Xander. Go get me Xander or go get me somebody with the belts. And that's what they did, and I'm glad.
Tim Bradley says anyone calling Xander Zayas an easy fight is crazy. He points out that Jaron Boots Ennis had trouble dealing with Karen Chikadzian's technical style and warns that Zayas' sharp left hook makes him a real threat who shouldn't be underestimated.
No one knows who the opponent is, but the speculation is it's Boots. How do you see that fight going?
Shoot. It's hard to really go against Boots because on that one with specifically Xander, I feel Xander's still young, Boots is a lot older and has a lot.
Terence Crawford says the one who keeps trying eventually wins, emphasizing the importance of persistence and resilience. He reminds fighters that determination and consistency are key qualities for success in boxing's toughest battles.
It's Boots and Xander, a lot of people don't realize and understand what the hell they talking about. They thinking that this fight gonna be a slam dunk for freaking Boots. And this, you crazy. You crazy if you think this fight gonna be a slam dunk for him. Who was the last technical guy that Boots fought, man? Karen? Come on, man. He getting in there with a young gun, man, just as hungry and energetic as he is. You understand that? Bigger than he is. Probably just as strong as he is. High boxing IQ, just as well as he does. Got skills, good counterpuncher, good legs, good movement. Throws in bunches, got a left hook, which is the punch.
Additionally, Crawford advises young Xander Zayas to face his fears in sparring, encouraging him to tackle challenges head-on. This approach, he says, will build both confidence and readiness for the fight through fearless training.
Work on things that you don't like to do. Get comfortable doing things that you don't like to do and try things. Everybody come and spar and they do the same thing over and over and over. And then they wonder why they don't get better.
That's right.
Or they fight the same way. That works on this level, but when you get to the elite level, you're gonna have to pull everything.
Xander Zayas confidently declares that he is the best and wants to fight the best, demonstrating ambition, self-belief, and determination to prove himself against top-level competition in boxing.
For being here, man, this everybody, like you said, is busting. I feel like this is the biggest fight of 2026 thus far, and it was important for me because for me to say that I'm the best, I gotta face the best, and Jaron Ennis is one of the best names in the division, you know, alongside other fighters and myself. So come June 27th, I will claim why I'm the best 154-pounder in the world.
And like you said, everyone is buzzing, everyone's talking about it. Jaron Ennis himself, he's giving you immense credit, and rightfully so, for taking this fight when you had the leverage to call the shots and choose any route you preferred.
Yeah.
At the age of 23, what does it speak to you? What does it speak for you as the fighter you are?
Man, I feel like a lot of people will love or love to.
Xander Zayas further states that he wants to make history, highlighting his mission to achieve greatness, represent with pride, and leave a lasting legacy through bold challenges and memory.
The biggest test, and I'm gonna write history one more time. That's what it's all about. That's what you're in the sport of boxing for. It's easy to just get complacent and just fight old names or old guys that were champion 3-4 years ago, or just fight an easy fight that you know you could win and get easy money. But when everything is on the line, when a lot of people is doubting you, that's when the stakes are high. That's when you got to perform, and that's where I perform at my best.
And it appears this fight was made without a hitch.
Yeah.
Fairly simple behind the scenes, which was a far different case than what Ennis experienced negotiating with Virgil. Why do you think that was the case, and what do you make of this?
Like you said, it was an easy negotiation. I feel like we both wanted to fight. There are no buts. There's no what if. We both want to fight. Let's make it
Winky
happen.
Wright says the matchup between Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis will be an exciting fight, emphasizing that the division is strong. He adds that to achieve greatness, the best fighters must face.
Xander and Boots are going to fight. What are your thoughts on that fight?
It's gonna be a good fight, man. The division looking good right now, you know, and I just want to see all the fighters fight each other, man. The best need to fight the best. That's what's gonna bring the fans to boxing, and you know, you can only be great by beating somebody great. You know what I'm saying? You can have a bunch of wins with no great win. You're just a good fighter, but you want to be great, you need to beat another great fighter. So they got the opportunity, and I hope they do it.
What are your thoughts on, if you know about it, the Virgil situation? Virgil Ortiz, him and Golden Boy have kind of like the lawsuit going on against one another. Virgil put the lawsuit out for Golden Boy. Now he's sitting on the sideline waiting for arbitration. Do you think it was right of Xander to step in and say, you know what, I'll take on Boots since you're going to be sidelined for a bit?
I had none. I don't know about it. You know, tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. You just telling me new, but it's good that he stepped in and we can get a fight.
Coach Breadman says that while Xander Zayas is still a young fighter, holding 2 belts proves his legitimacy, and this fact shouldn't be overlooked when discussing his matchup against Jaron Ennis.
Slightly above Xander, but Xander has 2 belts, so you can't go wrong with 2 belts because Ortiz and Boots don't have belts at 54. I think that Boots and Virgil Ortiz styles clash better. That would have been like a barn burner, a war, like high contact war. I think that Xander is going to try to box and take some of the violence out of the fight. So I think it's a different kind of fight. You know what I mean? To be honest.
Chris Mannix explains that Xander Zayas has been the driving force behind making this fight happen. He's communicated to his promoter, manager, and anyone with influence that he wants Jaron Ennis. Zayas deserves the most credit for getting this matchup to its current stage. The reason he's pushing so hard comes down to ambition and opportunity. Just as pursuing a top education can set someone up for future success, Zayas sees this fight as a chance to elevate his career. While education opens doors, real experience in boxing comes at the cost of blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Zayas already holds belts, but belts alone won't guarantee the biggest paydays. He understands that facing lesser-known opponents won't bring him the millions he's aiming for.
The most credit for this fight being at the stage that it's at. So the question I have is why? Why do you think that Zayas is pushing so hard to get this fight over the finish line?
Well, I'm going to put it in terms that you can understand because,
Is there really a need to just go backhanded?
No. This is actually a compliment.
Is there really a need?
This is actually a compliment. Why did you want to bet? Why did you want to attend one of the best colleges in the world?
Good education.
Great education, yes. Correct? All right. So, can education feed your family? You want a great job afterwards.
Correct.
So, what puts you in the position for a great job to make great money?
Experience.
A great education, Mannix.
I mean, they're sort of the same thing, right? Experience.
No. Experience is costs way more blood than education.
Experience, I'd argue, not to get too deep in the weeds, experience is way more important for job search than education.
Nowadays, but
20
years ago.
At just 23, Xander Zayas has already earned 7-figure paydays, but he's aiming higher, targeting $2 to $3 million purses. With Saudi investment, Zuffa involvement, and Daewon deals reshaping boxing's financial landscape, Zayas won a piece of the prize. He's no longer fighting just for belts. He's fighting for legacy, recognition, and financial security. Ultimately, he's pushing because he sees this fight as his gateway to both history and wealth. He's unified, he's hungry, and now he's ready to claim the spotlight.
Xander Zayas already got those belts. Now he wants to get paid. To answer your question, he wants money. He realizes that those belts against, I don't even know these guys' names, Abbas Baru and Perez, these guys aren't champions. They're not names. They're not going to get you the paydays that you want. I mean, I would think that he's making mid 6 figures as a champion.
Yeah, he probably topped $1 million for the last fight.
I will be surprised. You need to look into
$1 million
that.
in the last fight.
Maybe top the million. Okay,
I'm telling you, he topped $1 million.
Okay, well, good for him. I'm proud of Zayas. For a 23-year-old kid hitting 7 figures, that's incredible. But he wants to touch $2-3 million paydays. And with all the money being distributed right now, with all these big players from Saudi to Zuffa to the zone deals and everything else, he wants in on the money. He wants in on the prize, man, because he already got the belts. The belts are great. He's going down in history as a unified champion. Now let's make some championship money that can...
Paulie Malignaggi says this is a major opportunity for Xander Zayas at a key stage of his career. He believes the timing is right for Zayas to prove himself and take an important step toward his prime years. According to Paulie, a fight like this gives Xander valuable experience against a top-level opponent and tests whether he's ready for the biggest stages. He also notes that the matchup benefits Jaron Boots, Ennis, since Xander is a young, highly marketable fighter with growing attention. A win over someone of Zayas' recognition could elevate Boots' profile, boost public interest, and make the division even more exciting for fans and promoters alike.
Zayas Boots announced today. Any thoughts on that?
For sure, huh?
Yeah,
wow.
Announced this morning.
I'll tell you, the zone really putting their head in the game right away, man. I did not think that Zayas fight with Ennis could be made so quickly. I thought, especially from the top rank perspective, you could play with a couple of years still for Zayas to develop into his prime, while Ennis maybe needs it right now. And so the fight being made, I think, is more advantageous to Ennis, I think, because with Zayas, when you have a marketable fighter like that, you can take your time as to when. Canelo was the king of this. It's not who you fight; it's when you fight them. You fight them, when they're not so much at their best, so to speak. So for Zayas to take on Ennis right now, when Ennis has been pretty much shrieking, that's a credit to Zayas, and it's a credit to Top Rank having faith in their guy. But it's a tough fight.
Greg Hackett offers a balanced and thoughtful take on the upcoming Xander Zayas versus Jaron Boots in his fight set for June 27th in New York City. He notes that the 154-pound division is extremely competitive right now, essentially a three-way race among the champions, including Xander Zayas, Sebastian Fonder, and other top contenders. Hackett points out that Xander may hold one of the division's best wins, especially after his impressive victory over Abbas Baru. He also highlights Josh Kelly's upset win as another major result that surprised many. Ultimately, Hackett believes the fight will come down to boxing IQ, conditioning, handling pressure, and mental toughness.
Now we see that Xander is fighting Boots June 27th. Love to get your reaction on that. What do you think about the winner, leading up to a Fondora fight, but just the fight itself as well?
So what's the first question? Who the best at 54?
I mean, yeah. I mean, who do you think is the best at 54? And then, yeah, what do you think about June 27th in New York City?
I think it's a three-way tie out of all the champions. You know why I say that?
Wow.
Who got the best win out of all them guys?
At 54, I would say Xander.
Xander got the best win?
Yeah.
And who would that win be?
I think Abaz beating Tellis was big. And yeah, and then him beating Abaz.
Greg Hackett explains that Jaron Boots, Ennis enters this fight highly motivated, seeking both respect and titles at 154 pounds. At the same time, Xander Zayas, already a champion, must prove how far he's willing to go against an elite opponent. Hackett notes that Xander's experience in tough fights has prepared him mentally, but this challenge is unique because Boots brings hunger, size, and skill. He suggests this bout could reveal a lot about both fighters, whether Xander is truly ready for the top level and whether Boots can dominate against a naturally bigger opponent.
Him being 23, you wanting this fight, Boots, only has one fight really at 54, fight in Lamas. I mean, this is a big guy, can box. What do you see in the fight?
It's gonna come down to IQ. It's gonna come down to conditioning. It's gonna come down to pressure. It's gonna come down to what Xander is willing to go through. Xander is the champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boots is hungry because he want that respect and he want those titles. Xander got to figure out how far he willing to go. I think he's willing to go there because what he went through with Abbas was a good tangle up. You know what I mean? That was a good little mix. But this time you won't be fighting Abbas. But at the same time, Boots, this be his first joint where he got somebody.
The boxing world is heating up as the highly anticipated clash between Xander Zayas and Jaron Boots, Ennis begins to take shape. Excitement is building because this is the kind of matchup that can push the sport forward. 8T, just 23, Xander Zayas has already proven himself to be a bold and ambitious young champion willing to take significant risks. He had previously expressed interest in facing Virgil Ortiz Jr., but that fight never materialized despite his readiness and persistence. Now, the spotlight shifts to Boots Ennis, who has moved up to 154 pounds and is aiming to establish dominance in a new division. His recent performances, including an impressive knockout win, show that he is serious about making his mark at this weight.
Failed negotiation with Boots. We don't care. We already know the Turkey Al-Sheikh deal, and it didn't work back then. Boots elected to stay at 147. But what we also know is he's now at 54. He's coming off a first-round knockout with Lima, a.k.a. Lima Bean. You had like a second-round knockout with Lubin, and then he hopped up in that ring. Hop up out the bed, right? He hopped up in that ring and said, I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you for what your dad say, for what Rick, your manager say, what Oscar say, me and you, right? And it could have been that. But you didn't like
the matchup with Xander Zayas offers Boots Ennis something invaluable. A young, hungry champion who brings both credibility and momentum. At the same time, the situation around Virgil Ortiz Jr. shows just how quickly things can change in boxing. Once seen as a top contender in these discussions, Ortiz now finds himself on the outside due to stalled opportunities and career decisions. Fighters like Errol Spence Jr. have long highlighted the sport's unpredictability, and this scenario reflects that perfectly. Credit also goes to Eddie Hearn for helping secure a meaningful fight for Boots Ennis, ensuring his momentum isn't lost. This matchup isn't just about skill. It's about timing, hunger, and positioning. While some fans may have preferred different fights, this one still delivers plenty of intrigue. Ultimately, Xander Zayas versus Jaron Boots, Ennis represents a high-stakes moment where both fighters have something real to prove.
Right? He was down to fight, and he was pushing for the fight. And Virgil Ortiz tried to front him off, like, you're young, your time will come, blah, blah, blah. But like Errol Spence Jr. said, Hey man, stop that cat. Tables turn. Look how the tables turn in the sport of boxing. My oh my, how them tables turn in the sport of boxing. And it's remarkable where 1 minute so-and-so is on top, so-and-so feels like they're the big shot and they can dominate the conversation or say whatever, and things are rolling smoothly for them. The next minute, you like Virgil Ortiz. So I'm gonna keep saying the same.
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you next time.